Live? I'm just going to go out there and started here. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, let's wait a second. I don't know. It's just not. It's on. Do we have anybody online? Down a bit. There we are. Well, welcome everybody. My name is Stephen Michael Miller. I'm one of the co-founders here at Strongbrook, and whether you are here in the room with us today or you are online watching from your home or some other group, I know we've got groups out in Colorado and in Idaho and New York and Texas, California, Hawaii, and all over the U.S. That are tuning into this. So thank you for being here with us. I'm so glad that you're here. And wanted to start the evening off. We're here to talk about financial empowerment, and specifically to talk about financial empowerment through real estate. And not just any real estate, but facilitated real estate. Now, I want you to think about that word for a minute, because we're going to be getting into that word as we go on through this presentation. But I want you to focus on what it could mean for you if all of a sudden finances weren't an issue. And hopefully if you're at home or if you're in a group somewhere in some other state or even here in the room, you've got a pen and paper and you're able to write some things down or at least maybe jot some notes in your phone or computer. But I want you to write down what that would look like for you. What if you had no financial limitations? What if you were able to do whatever it is that you dream about? Maybe as a child you had some sort of crazy aspiration that you always wanted to accomplish, you always wanted to do. But for whatever reason, finances are holding you back. And before I jump into our presentation, we've got a wonderful presentation here for you tonight. Before I jump in, I want to set the stage appropriately. And I want you to get clear in your mind as to what it is that you want to create. What do you want in this life? What are you meant for? Are you meant to do what it is that you're doing right now? Or have you always felt that you are meant for something greater? Have you always felt that there's something else? You're not sure what it is maybe, but you know that you've got talents, you know that you've got abilities, but the world, maybe your parents, maybe society has always told you that you've got to play the safe game, that you've got to do what everyone does. You've got to go along that path, and we're going to talk about this path here in just a minute. But everyone's told you those things, and so in your mind, it's always been in there in your subconscious, maybe even in your conscious mind, that you've got to just play it safe. You've got to just do what everyone else is doing. Yet the results aren't what you want. The results aren't what it is that you've been dreaming about. So let's talk about that for just a minute, because I believe that we're all on this journey, and we start over here, right? We start over here in this journey of life, and we're taught to do certain things. And the problem with this whole journey for all of us, and I'm gonna, I'll try not to spend too much time on this, but I think the major problem for most of us is that we're being taught by other individuals that haven't really figured out for themselves either. And that's not a slight on anybody, right? Just because I'm a parent, and by the way, I'm a parent. I've got 7 children, and my children are amazing children, range in ages from 12 years old down to 1.5, and all single births. Yes, we know how it happens. Okay, we know what causes it. But I've got these wonderful 7 children, and just because I became a father doesn't mean all of a sudden that I'm completely knowledgeable in how to be a father. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden I know exactly how to rear and raise 7 different individuals, because by the way, they all have different personalities. They all react differently to how I speak to them or how we reprimand. It's all different. So just because I became a parent doesn't mean all of a sudden that I know how to be a perfect parent. Well, likewise, just because we're adults doesn't mean all of a sudden that we figured it out financially. And so we're just doing the best that we can. Our parents did the best they could, and so on and so forth. But somewhere along the way, we need to sit back for a second and question, is this information that I'm getting, no judgment on the person, but is this information that I'm getting the best information for me? Is it going to help me to accomplish my end goal? So here we are, we start off in life and we're told to do certain things. We're told to go to school. We're told to get an education, right? And because education is supposed to help us to create more success along this path that we're taking. So we do it. We go to high school, right? Hopefully. We get our diploma. We go to college because that's what we're told that we're supposed to do. And so when we start off college, this is interesting. I would observe some of my friends and family that were going to college, and so many people that I know that I've talked to, they thought they knew what they wanted to do, or maybe they had a small idea. Some of them, they were just kind of going through the motions, and they were, they would sign up for the generals and hope that they would stumble upon what it is that they really wanted to do. But a lot of people I know, they that are going through this kind of system, right? They start off college, they get to a certain point, and then they realize, they start to ask themselves those hard questions. Well, what am I even doing this for? And am I even doing what I want to? And oftentimes they change their major a number of times until they finally land on something that they feel like they want, or maybe that their counselor or parents told them that they should do, because that's what's going to give you the biggest leg up, right? That's what's going to make you the most successful. You got to be a doctor or an engineer or a lawyer, or you pick the top 10. And if you're not that, then you're going to just have to settle and be okay with something else, right? So I want you to think about this, because again, here we are, we're going through this system, we're going through this journey, and why are we going through it? So we get to we find our major. We like what it is. We learn all about it. We're getting excited. We graduate. And what happens when we graduate? What happens? Yeah, you start applying for jobs, right? But you get this little piece of paper that tells you something. It tells you that you've graduated, right? You spent the last 4 plus however many years learning some information so that hopefully you can get a job coming in maybe at a mid-level position, or instead of maybe an entry-level position, so you can earn more. This is the whole purpose for this, right? So the whole purpose of us going to school and getting educated is so that we can earn better, so we can provide our better life for our families and for ourselves, do more, right? And so we get into the workplace, we jump in. Oh, by the way, just real quick, do we have to have a piece of paper to tell us that we're smart? I don't think we do, right? I don't think we do, but so many of us wait for that piece of paper as if it gives us permission to finally do something and to make something of ourselves, okay? I'm not knocking college or school. I think it's great. Education is amazing. Just get more clear on why you're doing it, right? So we graduate from college. We jump into the workforce to do what? Yeah, work up the ladder, try to earn well, right? We're trying to take care of our family, so we get into that job and we're moving along and we're working up the ladder, and hopefully we're getting the raises, and hopefully those raises are helping us to keep up with inflation. Usually not, right? So all of a sudden, all these expenses start to pile on, because not only are we just barely scraping by, but all of a sudden our family starts to grow. And if you're like me, you've got 7 children, and you got to not only feed them, but you got to clothe them and put a roof over their heads. And if you're also like me, if you're in too tight of a space, you start to go crazy after a while. So as your family grows, you've got to grow a little bit. Everyone needs a little bit of space to live in, right? So you're going along, you're doing all these things, and all of a sudden, you look back and you're at this point in life where life is happening all over the place. Your kids are getting ready to go to school or college, and there's their talents that you want to help to encourage and help them to grow, and all these different things. And there's, births and medical expenses and everything that comes along with all of that. And you work and you work and you work, and what is the end goal? What do we want to get to? What's at the end of the tunnel? Right? Retirement, maybe, right? What is retirement? Hopefully financial freedom, right? I mean, that's the whole purpose of all this, right? That's why we spent so many years going to college and learning and working up the ladder, was so that at the end, we could look at our lives and say, oh, that's what I wanted, right? I did all this hard work to get, finally I've arrived, right? I've come to this place and it's amazing, and I'm on the beach and I'm sipping root beer. I don't drink, so I'm sipping the back of my root beer, and wow, this is wonderful. And the waves I can hear, and the sandy beaches, and it's amazing, sun shining. But the reality is, for most of us, it doesn't look like that, right? For most of us, we don't arrive at this retirement, and I don't know who made up the age of 65, as if that's all of a sudden some, again, magical number that we're supposed to have figured it all out by then. The reality is, for most of us, because we follow this path, we don't arrive where we wanted to. Because this path really it's not really a plan, is it? This path never was a plan for us. We were just kind of following along and doing what we thought was best as it came up, rather than planning it out. And for me, when I look at life, and we're talking about financial abundance, and when we're talking about how we can actually create the life that we want, the only way that we can create the life that we want is to plan for it appropriately. Because if we fail to plan, we've heard this before, if we fail to plan, then we plan to fail. And there's truth in that statement. So if you haven't planned out your life financially yet, I'm going to draw some comparisons here in a little bit, but if we haven't planned our lives out financially, chances that we're ever going to accomplish some goal, if there's no plan around it, are slim to none. So I don't see it happening. Most people that I know that are super successful have a plan and they follow it as much as they possibly can. And they also plan for caveats, right? They plan for bumps in the road and oops days and mistakes and trips and all those things that are going to happen. They plan for those things, and so when they do, it's not as devastating, and they've got a workaround. They've got people to help them out as well. So hopefully we can all understand and agree that this journey here, this path that most of us are on, is broken. The system that we're following isn't working for the majority of us. And so I want to talk about a few things. We're here today to talk about how we can learn real estate as well as do real estate to enhance our financial future, to empower personal and financial success. So we're going to talk about that a little bit, but I want to get into, again, your American dream. What is it? What does that look like for you? Get clear on it. It can't be just, I want a lot of money. And it even can't just be, I want freedom. What does that mean? What does that look like? Because for everybody, that's different. For one person, freedom could mean getting out of jail, right? Yeah. And just getting out of jail, right? But for someone else, that could mean, I don't want to have a boss that's telling me what to do. I want to be able to set my own hours. I want to be able to set my own workload. I want to be able to talk to who I want, when I want, about what I'm passionate about. So I want you to weigh that out. I want you to write down some things right now as you're sitting there. Write down some things about your dream. Write down specific key points about what you want to accomplish in this life, okay? We're going to talk about this a little bit more. So we talked about kind of what the outlook looks like, this journey that we've been on. And I want to tie that into the past, the present, right now, and the future, okay, of what that looks like for the majority of Americans. Okay, if you look on the screen, you'll see the financial outlook for the average American isn't as good as most people would hope. Okay? In the past, we used to think that $1 million was going to be enough to retire. Well, I'll tell you right now, $1 million isn't enough anymore. Not only are people living longer because of these amazing advancements in medicine and other things in health, but there's also higher costs of living. Things are increasing. I mean, a gallon of milk is just more than it used to be, right? Gasoline is more than it used to be, except for, it fluctuates, but it's more, right? So we have to worry about these things, and inflation. So $1 million, it may have been enough before. It's not enough anymore. What about, what are people doing for retirement? Well, we know that they're saving, some of them, right? Not very many though. According to this statistic right here, 60% of people have less than $25,000 saved for retirement. Wow, let's think about that for a second. $25,000. I mean, maybe a year for some people, but not for a lot of people. That doesn't even cover a year. For some people, that may not even cover a couple or 3 or 4 months, right? So everyone's situation is a little bit different, but the outlook is bleak nonetheless. We're not saving. Most of us are spending 100% of what we're earning, right? Or 110%, even worse, right? We're taking out lines of credit or credit cards, and we're running those up as well, which is just creating more and more debt and weighing us down even more. So the past, $1 million wasn't enough. The present, people still aren't saving enough. And if we look to the future, what it's looking like, if we look at the Social Security Administration, actually right now, the future is bleak for people. Because currently, 33% of people get 90% of their earnings from Social Security, right? 90% from Social Security, retired people, right? 67% rely on Social Security for 50% of their income. It's unbelievable. So I'll stop beating this horse, right? The situation doesn't look good, but we've got to do something different, right? We've got to do different things. The decisions that we're making today are either going to set us free or they're going to bankrupt us, financially speaking, and maybe even emotionally, right? It's all tied together. So how do we empower ourselves, both personally and financially? Let's talk about it a little bit. One thing that we could do is we can get a job that we really love. I'm kidding, right? I don't think anyone wants to go back to work after they retire, but this is happening to a lot of people. And what it's creating is, again, limited income, no cash flow, reduced quality of life, anger and frustration, missed opportunities, because we're being forced to do things that we didn't think we were ever going to have to do. So let's not let this happen. Let's do different things. And we start off by, let me ask you just a question. Have you ever wondered, how many mistakes could I have avoided by having someone to ask who has helped thousands to do the same, right? Think about what it is that you want to do and what you want to accomplish and how it could have changed your trajectory, it could have changed your outcome had you had someone to ask that had helped thousands of other individuals that wanted to achieve similar results as you. How would that have changed things for you? Would that have made life easier? Could you have had legitimate shortcuts that you could have taken to accelerate your process? I definitely believe so. So we're going to talk about this creation, management, protection, and growth of wealth through what we call facilitated real estate. Remember, I said that at the beginning here. What is facilitated real estate? Well, let me get into that in just a little bit. Before I do, I want to talk about financial freedom. What is it? What's financial freedom? Okay, choices. What else?
Something that came to me while you were talking before is that it's enough to continue growing.
Yeah.
You think about financial freedom as, you're making more money than you're spending, but you could become stagnant at that. This is like a new concept to me tonight. Is seeing that it's about being able to continue growing.
Yeah. Consistent growth, right? Financial freedom, I love these different definitions, right? Because here's the reality, financial freedom means something different for everybody, right? And just like freedom, when you're talking about someone that's in jail as opposed to someone that just wants to get away from a boss maybe, financial freedom can mean something completely different for different people. If you were to go to some of the poorest areas in Africa, financial freedom could mean for them having $1 or $2 a day that they don't have. Where on the other hand, someone here in America, one of the wealthiest countries in the world, right? Financial freedom maybe that means $60,000 a year. I don't know. Maybe it means more, right? Maybe whatever it means. Really, I want to narrow this definition down so it makes sense for everybody, regardless of where you are or what your financial situation is or what your desires or wants are. Because honestly, the simple life is actually really freeing, right? Not having a humongous house to weigh you down. By the way, when financial hardship hits around the world and economies struggle, what often happens to that really large home market? You know what happens? you're stuck with it. It typically crashes, right? And you go under, you go upside down. So it's interesting. I watch. Has anyone ever seen that show, Tiny House? Right? It's on every once. I can't remember if it's HGTV or Discovery or something like that. But anyway, there's this movement going on in the U.S. of people that are wanting to become financially free. Right? They want to cut as many of those debt chains that they have, and part of that is getting into a smaller home for them that they can purchase pretty much, outright. Maybe it costs $25,000 or $30,000 or something like that, as opposed to your traditional home, that can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it's about simplifying and reducing the clutter and getting it out. Well, how do we do that? How do we reduce that clutter? How do we create that financial life and get rid of all that financial clutter, and at the same time get rid of all the mental clutter to create more clarity so that we can create that financial freedom? Well, again, financial freedom, I just want to give you a really quick definition here. It's income that continuously is generated after an initial investment of time, money, and effort. That's residual income, excuse me. Financial freedom is then having enough residual income that exceeds your expenses, exactly, right? So when your residual income is greater than your expenses, you no longer have to work. So that if something happens in life and you can't work, you're okay. You're able to take care of the bills, right? You're able to put food on the table and all those other things. Now, I want to put up an example over here. And I want to ask you, who has the most financial freedom? Well, let's go through these examples real quick. And everyone that's online as well, I want you to think about this, okay? Who out of these three people has the most financial freedom? So the first one here, let's call her a doctor, right? She earns $250,000 annually, and she has $450,000 of combined assets. I think we'd all agree that she looks like she's doing pretty well for herself, doesn't she? I mean, that looks pretty darn good. Look at the next individual. Let's call him a contractor, earning $86,000 a year, also earns well, okay? And he's got $1 million of raw land. Also, that's fantastic. He's a net worth millionaire, isn't he? Yeah, he sure is. This next individual here, she's got $40,000 of annual income, and she has 10 rental properties, right? So if you were to look at this just how it is, I mean, I don't know about you, but for me, the one that looks like they're the most successful is the doctor earning $250,000 a year and $450,000 of combined assets. On the surface, that's what it looks like, right? But looks can be deceiving, especially in the financial realm, right? We want to make sure that we understand a little bit more. So let's dive down just one more step. Let's talk about this residual income, right? Here we've got the doctor, no residual income. The contractor, no residual income. But the teacher has $3,800 of monthly residual income. That is true freedom. If she were to leave her job today, she would still be able to cover her expenses. That $3,800 covers her annual income, right? It's amazing. On the other hand, these other two individuals, being a net worth millionaire, as you can see there, right? $1 million of raw land isn't going to get him anything right now it's not paying him, right? So in order for him to really receive a residual income, he's got to convert it. He's got to transfer it. He's got to do something with that. But it's not inherent in what he's got there. Same with the doctor, right? So we're talking about the difference here between earned income, trading time for money, right? That's pretty obvious. Net worth, which is that nest egg, right? The 401k, the IRA, home equity, different things like that, right? These nest eggs, they've got to be converted into a cash flow. And of course, residual income, which is that true financial freedom. So I want you to ask yourself this question. If you were to stop working today, how long could you last before you had to go back to work or had to go find a job? And, unfortunately, a lot of us have felt the pressure of economic hard times. Let me just harken back real quick to 2008. There's a lot of individuals that not only lost their jobs, but lost their homes and lost their investments and got upside down in a massive way. And let me ask you a question. If and when that happened, were you prepared? Or will you be prepared? And if it happens again, and I'm not an economist here. I'm not going to say I have a crystal ball because I don't. If you have one, please let me know. I'll pay you for it. Right? None of us have a crystal ball, so we don't know what's going to happen. And we don't know today or tomorrow if an employer or a company is going to go under, we might lose our job or whatever the case is, we have to go out and get back in the workplace and, resurrect that old resume and add some more things to it and try to get another job. The beautiful thing about real estate is if you've done it right, this concept of facilitated real estate, if you've done it right, then when those rainy days happen, you can still breathe. And not only can you breathe, but you can thrive. And you can, again, put food on the table, shelter. You can do the things that you normally would be doing because it's covered for you. The real estate's doing the work for you. Okay, so how much money would you need on a monthly basis if you wanted just how much money would you need to generate to save if you wanted to create a $5,000 per month residual income at a 4% annual dividend? Well, I won't make you do the math right now. It's a lot of money. You can see the stacks there, okay? But the truth is it's going to cost you quite a bit, right? You're going to have to save $1.5 million. Now, again, how realistic is this? Well, we've gone through the statistics. We know that most people don't have, but 60% of people have less than $25,000 saved. And the majority of the rest of us are spending 100 to 120% of our income. So if that's the case, then this isn't realistic, right? So there's a massive gap that we've got to bridge. And I want to talk about it because traditional investments aren't made to retire you this way. Last week I said a few things and I really started haranguing, and pounding 401ks and IRAs. And I'm going to take a step back this week a little bit. I'm going to say those are actually great buckets, but they were never meant to retire you. I don't know very many people. There are very, very few people that I know who can actually retire comfortably with what they've been able to save. So in other words, it's almost impossible to save your way to retirement. You've got to do other things. You've got to invest it appropriately. You've got to be smart with your investments. And I'm not talking about a 4 to 6 or 7% in an IRA or 401k. You've got to be more aggressive, but still have that level of safety, right? We've got to have that margin of safety in play. So if you look at this, and we're talking about creating enough for retirement, and again, we talked about that $1.5 million. If you were to invest and save every single month at a 10.8% interest, you see it right here, right? In order to accumulate in 20 years that $1.5 million, you would need to save $1,800 almost every single month, $1,800 a month. That's more than most people make in a month, right? So unless you are already wealthy, right, you probably don't need this, right? But if you're like the most of us, we can't save $1,800 a month right now with how we're living, right? So we've got to be able to bridge this gap because the S&P 500 won't take care of it for us. Corporate bonds or municipal bonds or T-bills or mutual funds or the stock market, right? It's not going to take care of us. So we've got to do something else. We've got to be doing for ourselves. And that really brings us to what I want to really talk about today, which is what Strongbrook is doing for people all across the nation. And at Strongbrook, by the way, we've been doing this for the last 8.5 years. And what we do, first of all, we're a team of 200 plus licensed professionals. We assist our clients in building investment wealth portfolios. We have hundreds of years of combined experience. We have, these are some old numbers actually, we've got over 3,000 clients across every one of the 50 states. And so we've been doing this, we know what we're doing, but even better, we've proven how to successfully invest in up and down markets. So when the markets are fluctuating and doing what they're always going to do, we don't have to have fear. We can move forward in confidence because I can look back and I'll show you in just a minute our track record of what we've been able to do in those fluctuations that have helped our clients to see amazing results. So we've helped people to create residual income business opportunities or businesses, and we've paid out over $5 million in that. That's helped to also accelerate individuals in their real estate investing. We have a culture and a commitment to personal development through life-changing courses. We'll get into that just a little bit. And this is one more point that I just like to hit always, which is in 2010, we went through an SEC investigation. And the SEC is the Security and Exchange Commission, if you aren't aware of who they are. And they are in business to shut down businesses. Basically, they are around to find fraud so that we as citizens of the United States of America don't get duped, right? And that someone's not trying to take advantage of us. Well, our company came under investigation in 2010 over our claims and our practices. As a result, we are a much stronger company. We actually didn't have to change any of our practices or anything that we did, which means we we came out with flying colors, and it was a wonderful experience for us. Again, we now have this amazing approved business model. So not that it wasn't approved before, it was, but now it's even more approved, right? So how does facilitated real estate work? Well, let's talk about facilitated real estate. Now what we're talking about is, like I said before in the beginning, if you want to have a successful life, you have to have a plan, right? Well, what we call our financial plan, we call it our game plan. And I want to liken a game plan to building a home, right? When you build a home, and if you've ever built a home, I want you to imagine the steps that it takes to build a property. I built a home before. I've built a home. And in the building process, before you even get started building, right, before you go to Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever and you buy nails and wood and drywall and everything else, before you do all that, you have to have a blueprint, right? You have to have a plan. And you'll go to an architect or a draftsman or someone, and you'll get that plan drawn up, and you'll meet with them. You'll talk about exactly where you want the window for the kitchen, and where you want all the rooms and how it's going to look and the flow and all that. And then you get to work, and you find the piece of property, the land, right? And then you develop the land, and then you pour the foundation or the basement, wherever you are, and you start to frame out the home, and you bring in the systems and put on the roof, and step by step, you're building this home to completion. And along the way, let's say that you're in framing, you framed it all in, you've drywalled it in. Can you get to a point where you say, I really don't like that wall there, I want to change it? Can you do that? Yeah, of course you can. You definitely can, right? You go back to the architect or whoever, and you say, hey, I don't like that wall there. Can we change it? And the architect will say, yeah, we'll need a glue lamb beam there because it's a load-bearing wall or whatever, And yeah, we can change it, but let me draw it up on the plan, give it back to the general contractor so that he can hire the right people to make the changes, right? But you can change it. It's movable. It's not static, right? It can change and shift. And so our coaches or your personal coach will help you to design that personalized game plan so that you can, with confidence, begin building your financial future, just like you would a normal home. So that instead of going to Home Depot or Lowe's or some other hardware store, instead of just grabbing the materials and then starting to nail things together, that will eventually fall down and probably damage and hurt you, right? You can have a beautiful home that's built for you and with you, that you love and you always dreamed of, just like your financial future, right? So we have to treat it the same exact way. The reality is most of us don't treat our financial lives like we do a home that we would build, right? We just kind of throw it together. Well, let's do it differently. Let's get a game plan. So, and by the way, everyone that's here today, here in person, here online, you're going to have an opportunity to get your own free customized game plan, okay? That's customized for you, whether you have a lot of money or no money, right? Don't let that ever be a deterrent. We've worked with people that have started with millions and people that have started with absolutely nothing, actually people that have started with negative. And we've been able to find solutions for both. So regardless of where you fall in that spectrum, doesn't matter to us, let us help you. Get a free, customized, personalized game plan. Our coaches then help to educate you on the growth and income markets. We identify and help you access and leverage assets that you currently have. We help and find and present deals that fit your game plan. You're the CEO of your own facilitated real estate business. We are just the facilitators. We do the work for you, right? You're pointing the way. So what we do for our clients is we find the homes, we buy them, we fix them up, we finance them, we lease them, we manage them and maintain them, and then we help you sell those properties come exit time, right? When you're ready to have that exit strategy. And Strongbrook will earn about 5% in typical real estate fees with each transaction. So we own the companies that support the process. So for you, you get this amazing company, and I'm going to be bold here, you'll get the most amazing, most successful facilitated real estate investment company in the world right now, backing you up and helping you to achieve a successful portfolio in real estate to help you gain, again, what? Residual income to the point where your income now exceeds your expenses so that you can have true financial freedom. That's what we're looking for, right? And so now you get this team in your pocket that's doing it for you, where we don't get paid unless you get paid, right? As you are successful in your real estate, you're going to do more and more and more with us, and we just continue to earn our typical fees that you would be paying someone else anyway, but now instead you have a power team working with and for you, okay? So I want to talk about our track record because I think this is really, really important. Most people want to say, okay, this all sounds good. It sounds like it's got to be hugely risky, right? Where's all the risk? And I want to address risk because for me, it really comes down to a concept that Warren Buffett talks about. And I love this concept. He calls it a margin of safety. And if you ever have a chance, get the book Snowball. It talks about Warren Buffett and his life. I don't really necessarily love Warren Buffett as a person per se. He's not my role model in relationships or anything else like that. But financially speaking and business wise, the guy knows what he's talking about. And every time when he moves forward and he's looking at an investment that he wants to participate in, he says it has to have a significant margin of safety. So what is that? Well, let me illustrate this just a little bit differently before I get into that. Most individuals that I know, the average person, when I say that an investment is going to yield a high return, what do they typically associate with a high return? High risk, okay? I've spoken all across the nation and in different parts of the world, and every single time I have said that, people say it. Yep, high investment or high yield equals high risk. And that's an interesting concept, and it's also very telling with what most people will receive in life, right? When they go in and they're looking for a high return, they'll typically get burned because in their mind, they're already associating it has to have high risk. I'm probably going to lose my money. And what happens? They do, right? So the interesting thing about that is Warren Buffett, who is one of the richest men in the world, if you don't know him, look him up, Google him, right? Warren Buffett is usually one of the top 5 richest people in the world. He says things completely opposite. He says, in order for me to get the highest return, I have to have the largest margin of safety. In other words, margin of safety to me equals lowest risk, right? And he talks about in real estate what that means. That just means that, hey, if I've got a home here, I need to have certain measures in place so that I know that I'm not buying it up here, I'm buying it with that margin of safety. And not only can I get a margin of safety by saving time and effort, but I can also get that margin of safety by saving money and making sure that my investment is sound and that it's going to pay me on a monthly basis and all these different things, right? So we want to make sure that we define that margin of safety. And look at our margin of safety, okay? This is the last 1,000 deals that we've done. And I want you to look at this and really understand it. We've got average purchase price of $137,000. Average square feet of 1708, average year built 2002. So these are newer homes, right? They're not 50 years old or anything like that, right? Average equity ROI, which is return on investment. So the average equity return on investment is plus 20% a year. Average cash on cash return is 13% plus. Price per square foot, you see there, average property rehab, vacancy. And here's the huge one for me is the average hours saved per deal. Okay, 341 hours that we save our clients on average per deal that we do with them. Now remember that number because we're going to go into that a little bit later. But what this does, what this track record does for our clients is it allows them to see and visualize and understand that true margin of safety, right? We have these strict parameters which creates predictability. And when we have that predictability, again, I don't have a crystal ball, but what I do have is actual data that I can base my decisions on that allow me to make even smarter choices and our clients to make even smarter choices because we have information to back it up, okay? And more predictability just means lower risk and higher returns, okay? So let's just take a look at one of our properties. Here's one in Indianapolis, Indiana, purchase price of $89,900. TOP, which is total out-of-pocket financed, is $25,975. Monthly rent, you see there, of $950 a month. The principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, okay, PITI, that's what that stands for, is $465 a month, which means that the monthly cash flow on this home is $379 a month. Now, that's a 5-year ROI of 65%. So what we're doing here is we're helping our clients get into the very best equity growth as well as the best cash flowing markets, okay? And we specialize in a short-term buy and hold strategy. It says it right down here, right? On single-family homes bought below the median with very strict parameters to, again, like I said before, help to minimize the risk and maximize the profits. And I think that's really what we all want. I talk to people all the time, and most people don't want to be that real estate guru, right? They just want the benefits of what the real estate gurus benefit. You know, they want the benefits. They don't care about all the details, right? They want the benefits. They want an investment that works like an investment that has a reasonable margin of safety that's going to pay them every single month, giving them that residual income that will eventually, hopefully, exceed their expenses so that they have true financial freedom. Okay?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, please. Question.
Because the first slide that you showed about the averages,
Yeah.
there was like 137,000
Yeah.
and 13% and all of that, and
Yeah.
then this one was so much lower. Can you?
Yeah. Yeah, so the price of the home was a little lower. The ROIs are still right around the same. So with a lower priced home, you're typically also getting a lower rent, and that's a 5-year, correct?
Okay.
Yeah. So you average that out over the 5 years, and it's going to be close to that 13% roughly for the cash on cash. So I want to get into something here that is so powerful to me. And this is something that real estate can do that no other investment that I know of can, which is to grow dynamically. And what I mean by that is this is where we get to get our dollars working for us in multiple locations. Now, if I take a dollar and I go out and buy a hamburger, right, that dollar is going to buy that one hamburger, and I can eat the hamburger. That's it, right? It's over. That transaction has been done. If I go out and take that dollar and I want to invest it in a dollar's worth of stock, I'll get a dollar's worth of stock. The neat thing about real estate is I can take that dollar, I can put it into a home, and then shortly thereafter, without selling the home, I can remove that dollar while it's still working for me, right? As if it's still there, it's still going to work for me inside that home. I can put it into another home. So like you see here, I can start off, and if I can help you buy one home the right way, I can help that home purchase your next home, and then those two homes purchase your next couple of homes. So all of a sudden, I've got the same dollar or dollars working for me in multiple locations. That's dynamic investing. That's dynamic growth. All of a sudden, this is where I can start to bridge that gap and do something with real estate investing that I wasn't able to do with any other investment that's out there. And this is the power of this facilitated real estate that I'm talking about. Now, when you get started with Strongbrook, what will happen is you'll be assigned a project manager, again, that will really emphasize and put together that game plan, that personalized game plan for you. We'll help you leverage that team of experts, our team of experts, okay? Access the best properties, then facilitate the funding, fixing, leasing, and managing of those properties. We then help you put together comprehensive asset protection because like I said at the very beginning, this is about not just creation and management, but also protection and growth of wealth, right? So we want to make sure that you're properly protected. And then we just rinse and repeat. We help you in the buying and selling process as you're growing your portfolio and expanding that portfolio, and we'll take you back around through that. And your project manager is going to help you in every step of the way, okay? So I want to show you what a 20-year outlook looks like in one of our growth markets, and this is just an example here. This is an example based on our track record, okay, of what we do for people here. So if you're able to start with just 2 homes in your first year, let's just say that you had enough money to buy 2 homes in your first year. With that initial outlay of money, without putting any additional money of your own, meaning from your back pocket, right, putting it into another property, but just rolling the monies that your properties are not making for you back in to your game plan, you can start with those 2 homes and over a 20-year period, grow that into 13 paid off free and clear homes, a net worth of $1.8 million. Now again, hopefully you were listening and took this note. Is net worth important? Is it the most important thing? No, it's definitely not, right? Net worth is only important in as much as it's producing a cash flow for you. So that cash flow, so not only do you have a great net worth here after 20 years, but you also have an annual cash flow of about $132,000. All of a sudden, we can start to think about retirement a little bit differently, right? We don't have to be relying on Social Security for 50% of our income or 90% of our income, or for some of us, 100% of our income, right? We are actually taking care of ourselves. We are in a position of financial freedom, and we can help other people to do the same. So I want to show you what it looks like to work with Strongbrook. Most individuals will choose one of 4 different options. Here's the first 3. We either have our Elite PSA, which is a professional service agreement, okay? Our Elite Professional Service Agreement is $16,000 and it allows you to do an unlimited amount of properties with us. That means we will find them, fix them, finance them, help you get all the proper management in place and everything for you. We do all that. And that's $16,000 for an unlimited amount of homes. The next option is our Empowerment Professional Service Agreement, which is $8,000 or $7,999, and that allows you to do up to 4 transactions with us. Then we have our Essentials PSA, which is $5,499, which allows you to do one property with us. Now, this is our typical program. We've got thousands of people that have paid these fees and are working with us, and they're really enjoying the program. And really the proof to me is in the process here, in that the majority of the real estate we do is from repeat transactors, meaning our clients are doing it, they're enjoying it, it's working, they're getting paid, and they want to do it again and again and again. Now, I do want to talk about some things that are going on right now for this month that, because the month is not over yet, you will still have access to just by getting your free personalized game plan. But before I get into that, I want to talk about the other option here. Oh, before I even go there, there's one more thing that I wanted to mention. Remember, I talked about those hours that we spend per deal, 341 hours that we spend per deal. Those are expert hours. Let's just assume that you're earning $25 an hour, okay, roughly $25 an hour. If you were to multiply that out over those 341 hours, okay, that it takes to do a deal, you're looking at $8,750 that it would cost you just to do one transaction. That's more than the $5,500 that you could spend, right, for the Essentials PSA. Likewise, for the Empowerment, it's the difference between $8,000 and $35,000 if you're doing it on your own, just based on time alone. We're not even talking about yet the ability to find the properties at the better prices and doing the rehab at discounted prices and all these different things that we do because we do it in bulk, right? I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about the time. And here with the Elite PSA is the difference between $16,000 that you may pay us to access our team to go do it for you, or just in your time alone, $43,750. Now, it all sounds like a lot, and it is. And real estate can be really difficult. I mean, hopefully you've, think to yourself, do any of you know individuals that have made a lot of money in real estate? Most of you know some people that have made some money in real estate. But how many of us know people that have lost everything in real estate? We probably know a lot more of those, right? It's because it's not as easy as it might seem. So this is our programs. Now, that being said, I want to talk about a couple other things. Most individuals that get started with us aren't ready yet to start transacting, and that is 100% okay. When we first started this, all we had were those first 3 PSAs, and we could only help a small percentage of the room. We came out with this program to really provide a process and a system for the individual that needs some preparation, which is most of us. Most of us need preparation. Most of us aren't ready to transact right away. We need to learn some other things first. And so this is our educational preparation part of what we do, which is called the Strongbrook Map, or the My Action Plan. And with this, you receive immediate access to our team to start preparing you to invest in real estate, as well as every single dollar that you purchase here, or that you spend here, or invest in yourself, right? The $499 and the $99 a month is applied towards your eventual purchase of a transactional professional service agreement. So you're not losing any money at all. Actually, in the meantime, you're getting some of the world's greatest education from the company that has transacted almost now. Write this one down. This is a big deal. We have helped our clients with almost $500 million of real estate. So close to $500 million in real estate is what we've done with our clients over the last 8.5 years. It's tremendous. And you're getting now access to our team for only $499 and $99 a month. Now, that's our program. I want to talk about a couple things and really what the emphasis is for today, okay? Because nobody right now is going to be able to purchase this. There's a gateway, because I don't know who you are. Well, I know who you are. But I don't know who everyone is, right? I don't know who everyone is here in the World Wide Web. If you're watching this from home, if you're on the internet, if you're in a group, I don't know everybody. So what I want to do is I want to get to know you first. And I want to offer, first of all, this free game plan assessment. Get the good news before you choose, right? Learn about us before we start to propose marriage. I dated my wife for a year, roughly, before we actually proposed and got married. Now, I'm not saying that we need to date for a year, right? But we do need to get to know each other a little better. And we do that by helping you understand what it is that you could do with our system in place. What can we actually help you with? Whether you're starting with nothing, whether you literally have nothing. And I don't care. I'm just going to qualify this. If you just went through a divorce, a bankruptcy, a foreclosure, multiple foreclosures, whatever that looks like right now in your financial life, we can give you a plan to help you understand what you can do to move forward. So if you are starting with nothing or you have everything right now, we can help you in either respect. So make sure that you get your free customized game plan. Now, to get that game plan, you'll want to go back to the person that invited you to watch this live streamed event, this Strongbrook Live, okay? You're going to want to go back to them because they have a specific link to give you so that you can get your own free personalized game plan. If you stumbled across us over the internet or you don't have that personalized link, then just go to, we'll have actually our moderator post a link to get your own personalized game plan. So look in the chat box and we'll be posting a link for you to go ahead and get your own free personalized game plan. And we'll make sure that we connect that with the person that introduced you as well. So I want to talk about some things that are special right now for this month. And this is really big. First one is if you decide that the $499 a month MAP PSA is right for you. Again, that's our educational PSA. We're actually going to throw in an Essentials PSA for free. In other words, we're going to basically give you your first home transaction as part of that educational program. Not only getting you up to speed, but allowing you to now transact your first property. This is unbelievable. And I will tell you that the individuals that have taken advantage of this and gone on to purchase a property with us have seen phenomenal results, and they're really excited about it. So this is something that's huge. You can see right there, that's for the next 100 investors only right now. So make sure that you jump in and take advantage. The only way to get on this right now is to request your free personalized game plan. So make sure you get your game plan tonight, okay? You're going to need to these our professional service agreements. And we have a promotion going on for the month of November. Not many days left here in November, as we know. And this is something that we have never done in the history of our company. We've never discounted our professional service agreement like this. And we decided we want to discount it. You don't see the discounts yet. I'll be throwing it up in just a second. But we've never done it. But really, this month is the month to express gratitude, to express our thanks to our clients, individuals, our friends and family. And we wanted to do that in a really big way and do something that we've never done before. So what we've done is for the month of November, we have discounted our professional service agreements by 25%. So our $16,000 PSA is now $12,000. Our $8,000 is now $6,000, and our $5,500, well, we still have the promotion going on, so you can not even worry about that. It's the $499 and $99 a month. Again, something that we've never done before, but we wanted to say thank you in a really big way, and we've had a lot of individuals already taking advantage of these steep discounts. So if that's you, if this is right for you, I'm not sure about that yet, and you may not be sure, but if this is something that you're interested in, get your free personalized game plan. Now, last but definitely not least, this is becoming one of our most powerful things also that we've done to date. And it's our Strongbrook Intensive. This is where we really pull back the curtains. And you see a number of different things. I'm going to hit some of these bullet points because, again, a lot of individuals are starting from nothing. And some people don't have, a lot of people don't have the ability to buy a professional service agreement right now, nor do they have the ability to go out and buy a property right now with their own cash or with their own credit. And so part of the Strongbrook Intensive, this is happening December 10th through the 12th, so 10th, 11th, and 12th. It's a 3-day event. Make sure you put that on your calendar. We're going to be talking about creative real estate. Now, we used to do a lot of creative real estate before we started this company and really developed the system to be able to help a lot of people through what we do in the facilitated real estate arena. We did a lot of creative real estate. That's mostly all we did. And so for the first time ever, we're putting this event together along with our creative real estate. We'll be talking about no money and no credit options, partnering lease options. We're going to be talking about getting into the best and hottest markets, best strategies, property management, the auction process, finding your power team, which is huge, right? How do you find that? How do you locate them? How do you vet that power team? Creating a tax-free retirement, top 10 credit tips, hot properties, economic patterns, designing a customized game plan, creating wealthy mentality, the 21 ways that the rich think different than the average, the 3 levels of action guaranteed to make you more money, immediately how to increase the purchasing power of each dollar that you have. This event is going to be jam-packed with just unbelievable information. And so we're so glad to be able to do this. Now, this event is typically $497. It's actually worth a whole lot more than that. We've had individuals tell us that they've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on what we're covering in this event. But if you go ahead and submit a game plan tonight, we'll actually give that event to you for $69. So rather than paying the $497, it's going to be $69 as you see here on the screen as well. So, and the only way to get that is by submitting that free customized game plan request, right? By the way, it's free. Did I say that already? I want to help you understand that for us, we know that understanding your options, that information is some of the most powerful information that you may ever receive in your life, financially speaking, okay? Most of us go through life making decisions based on limited options and limited information. And we want to release those limitations. We want to give you more options that you may not even know are available to you. And we want to do that for free so that if this is a good fit, that we can move forward in a really massive way and help to change your life, help to create that residual income that right now you're only dreaming about, you're only thinking about, and you don't maybe even have a plan yet for. Let us help you create that plan. Let us put that game plan in place and help you show you the steps to get from where you are right now to where you really want to be, so that when you open your eyes at this retirement, right, this ethereal, crazy, thing, it actually looks like what you wanted. It looks like what you were trying to create because you were able to follow a very specific and personalized game plan for you. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and just say it one more time. Make sure you sign up for your free game plan. There should be a link in the chat box for all those that don't have an invitation or a link from someone that invited you here. And everyone here in the room, you can fill out a form and get your free personalized game plan as well from us. With that, what I want to do is just open it up for some Q&A, if there is any. I know we've got several people online and some people here in the room. So before I get into the Q&A, I do want to just go over some announcements. Okay, I've got here up on the board, if we could flash that up. Our next Strongbrook Live is December 2nd. That's next week. That's a Wednesday at 6:30 Mountain Standard Time. So same time as this one, but instead of Tuesday, it's on Wednesday, December 2nd. Also, I want anybody that's interested in kind of pulling back the curtain and getting a little inside peek. We have a training call every single Monday. And I would invite anybody, whether you're part of the team or not, to come on to our training calls. This is where we talk about how we bless other people's lives with what we're doing here, right? We have an affiliate force that goes out and finds and bird dogs investors for us. And so this training call talks a lot about that. If you want to get kind of a behind the curtain view, just jump on at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time at the number listed here up on the screen. 712-432-0075 is the number, and the access code is 358-204#. I welcome anybody and everybody. You're welcome to come on to that call. Other Strongbrook Live events that we hold on a regular basis are always found on the app. If you don't have the app, download it. Go to Google Play or to the App Store for Apple. Download, just search Strongbrook, as you can see, STRONGBROOK. Search Strongbrook, download the app. You'll need an invite code to unlock it. So in order to get that invite code, just go to the person that invited you here, and they'll be able to give you that invite code. And again, last but not least, that December 10th, 11th, and 12th, we have our intensive, which is going to be phenomenal. 3 days of just unbelievable amazingness and awesomeness. Kevin Clayson, Chris Crone, myself, the three founders of the company, we will be there. We'll be training there, and it's going to be unbelievable. Again, $69 is the discounted price for that event. And so we're excited to be there. So with that, I want to go ahead and open it up to any questions we have. Anybody in the room?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I had somebody compare Strongbrook to a wholesaler. They said, well, Strongbrook's just a wholesaler.
Yeah.
Could you address that? What's the difference between
Sure.
what Strongbrook does and just being a wholesaler?
Yeah, what's the difference between what Strongbrook does and a wholesaler? Most wholesalers are interested in giving you the property, giving you the product, and then letting you do whatever you want to with the product, right? And honestly, even in a wholesale situation, you're not even guaranteed to get a really good price on the deal. You're not guaranteed that it's going to make you any money. They're just providing you with the property. We're way different than that in so many different ways. Not only are we providing you with the properties, but we also we're making sure they're completely fixed up. We're also managing it and maintaining it for you, so you're not having to be and play that landlord role, right? It's taken care of already. And we're that middleman that's making sure that everything's running smoothly. Now, that doesn't mean that hiccups won't happen and a hole won't get knocked in a wall, but you're not having to deal with all those problems. We do that for you, right? And our teams do that for you. So that's probably one of the biggest things. Probably the second biggest thing is for us, we're not even just about getting you a good property that performs. We're about an entire wealth strategy. So for us, it's not about just giving you one home and whether it works or not, whatever, right? That's not what we're about. We're about creating that residual income model that helps you gain financial freedom. So for us, we're looking at what is your 20-year outlook? What do you want to accomplish? And let us reverse engineer that based on our system and show you how we can help you accomplish that goal.
So you not only provide the properties, but you're also taking care of, like, from step one of the game plan, helping us carry it through, and
all the way to exit strategy.
Okay. Oh yeah, because you mentioned like you'd help sell a house too.
Correct. Yep. Great question.
Is there somebody that helps to like keep you on track?
Yeah.
I mean, it's great to have a game plan, but I don't know that I'm really that great at like staying on
Sure.
the game plan.
Yeah. So who keeps you on track? And that's your project manager. So we were talking about this coach, right? This personal coach for you. So when you get started with us and you purchase one of our professional service agreements, you are assigned a personal coach. And that person, their whole job is to see you implement that game plan and to help you implement that game plan. And to make sure that you're on the same page with our team of experts that are implementing that game plan for you. And so again, as life happens and things change and kids get married or whatever, we're helping to adjust and form that game plan so it fits specifically with what's going on for you. And there are different transition periods, right? As you're ready to sell a property and then go buy some more properties or whatever, that game plan specialist is actually contacting you, letting you know, hey, your property just increased in value by X amount. We have this amount of equity. We want to cash that in, and we want to we can cash that in, and we could go out and buy property number 3 or 4 or whatever, right? Do you want to do that? And that's up to you. That's your choice. But they are actively helping you to see that game plan to fruition. Great question. Do we have anybody online? Any questions from anybody online? I know we've got a moderator there that's monitoring that.
Right now, there aren't any questions on live, Stephen.
All right, thank you. So, just to wrap it up, and again, if you have any questions after the fact, you're always welcome to get in touch with us or get back with the person that invited you to this event. But in closing, I just want to let you know how important it is that you have that plan. Most people that I talk to, I ask a question and I ask it sort of jokingly, and honestly, I usually ask it to get you to think a certain way. This is a little voodoo here now. But the question is how many of you love making blind choices? Right? Rhetorical question. I mean, you don't have to answer it. I think we all know the answer. Nobody wants to make a blind choice. But so often in life, we go through making tons and tons of blind choices because we don't know our options. We don't even know that some of these things are there as options for us. So if you don't like making blind choices, if you'd rather to see all your options before you move forward, then get in touch with us. We are experts at what we do. We're the best in the nation at what we do. No one that I've seen anywhere does what we do by taking a client from wherever they may be. Again, whether that's with nothing right now or with a little bit or with a lot, right? Wherever they may fall, and creating a customized game plan that's perfect for them so they understand the next steps that they need to take in order to achieve and accomplish the goals that they have, their retirement goals. So my invitation for everyone here is get a game plan. Don't make blind choices anymore. Whether you work with us or not, get your options, understand your options and how they can truly benefit and bless your life, your family's life, and the lives of many generations to come potentially who are awakened to the possibilities that they don't currently see. And with that, again, my name is Stephen Michael Miller with Strongbrook. So glad that you are here with us. Have a fantastic evening.